GigWarriorJim here. We're about to do some Amazon flexing. And wait until you see all the fun that we're going to have. You do need to have a few things with you all the time. The first and probably the most important is to make sure that you have your wonderful and beautiful driver's license. This is how you're checked in. You'll hand this on over. They'll scan the back of it on these wonderful lines, and that will show that you're here for your allotted block. I've signed up for a 3.5-hour block. You can arrive 15 minutes early if you choose to. You do have 5 minutes to be late. So in a little bit, we're going to be driving on into our distribution center, the station, and then we'll be going through picking up our packages, scanning them on in, and then loading our car. Now, I've found there's 2 different ways that you can sort your packages. The predominant one that most drivers use is the numeric order. And what I mean by that is that your route is set up in a sequence, and each package will have a number corresponding to where you're supposed to drop it on off. So package number 2 will be your first stop, because they consider the distribution center stop number 1. So stop number 3 will be number 3 on the package. This is all well and good if you follow exactly the route that Amazon Flex has set up for you. However, there is an alternate way to set up your car. And this is the way I normally do it. It is the alphabetized way. I will typically put letter or street names A to E in my trunk. Then behind the passenger seat, I will place all of the higher of the alphabet, such as basically U through Z. Behind the driver's side will be F through HG, just depending, and then in the middle area, O through about U. And in that way, when I decide to go a little bit rogue, because you do not have to follow their way of delivering on the route. You can, if you see that it makes more sense to go to stop number 30 first than stop number 2 that they've set up for you, you can. Because remember, you are an independent contractor. You're in charge of how you work and how you deliver. So, important things, always remember, you are an independent contractor. You are in charge. Now, we need to have a few other things in the car before we get going and pull on up. So I'm going to stop for a second, and then I will turn the camera and show you a couple things I keep in the car to make my life a lot easier. One thing that I have fallen in love with, it is a rolling hand truck that can be flattened down. So when you take the flat plate and push it up, the wheels tuck under for easy storage in the car. Next, inside the car, I've got 2 boxes. Let me twist and turn. And those boxes are for the envelopes. I'll typically, in the first box, place A to approximately H in alphabetical order, and then H to Z, depending upon how many I have in the second box. This way, the envelopes are not falling all over everywhere, and they're in order. So as you pull on up, you can easily find what you're going to be delivering and not have to dig around. This right here is your Amazon app for the Flex. You're going to hit start. Now it's going to ask you if you've arrived at the station. Because I'm close already, I will just hit I've arrived. Now it's going to think for a moment, and now you're going to drive in and show your driver's license. We're driving up into the station. It's in a warehouse type area. And when we get there, we will give our driver's license to one of the associates, and they will verify that we're here on time for our slot. And then we'll begin to scan our packages. A very rough road back here. This facility is almost like a tent. It has approximately a 5-foot high hard wall with then flex material over the top of it. So this was set up in October of 2018, and they've added an air conditioning unit. So let's see what we can do, and if we can find our one that we have, and life will be wonderful. Oh. They're telling us where to park. When you're at the station, you always must have a safety vest on. You can take other people with you, but they cannot get out of the car. Only you. Huh? You have 2 or what? Huh? You have 2 or what? I've got 2 envelopes. If you want, I can get one. No, I got it, no problem. Okay. This is what your screen will look like when you're ready to scan. You come on over. You can also check your route. So you'll get your route up here. Hit this button. It's going to ask if you want to change exit navigation. It's going to think. These little bars on the side, you go and hit. Look at today's itinerary, and then you can hit the map option to show you where they're all laid out. With this, I only have one, so that's where we're headed to. It is GigWarriorJim back at you, and we're now on the road. This is going to be a long delivery. It's about 77 miles or so. A couple things I always like. When you have a small amount of packages, you will be going for further distances, and it's just a given. A lot of times you'll see 50 packages, but they'll be clustered within, say, a 4 or 5 mile square, so you can easily get those done. Now, a couple things. I'm running multiple apps as far as getting somewhere. This is what your Amazon will look like, and it will give you a pretty good map of how to get to the area. However, where we're at, there's a lot of times we'll get out deep in the county, and if you get off a main road, you will lose cell service. So without cell service, you're kind of stuck. Well, old school Garmin GPS is the solution. It's reading the satellites. It will get you to the location. You just scan your packages, put in that you've left them, take your pictures, and then eventually when you do get back to the area where cell service is, it will upload everything to Amazon and you'll be fine. The other app I use on especially long distance trips that I'm running on right now is Waze. With Waze, it will reroute you, it will give you updates. Waze is a social app where it gets input from the other people who are also running Waze, and they'll end up recalculating routes. It allows you to put in if there is an object on the road, if there's a pothole, or if there is the police who are hiding and waiting to give you that ever popular calling card of theirs called a ticket. So with Waze, you can have that information you need. Not that I would ever recommend violating a law or speeding, because you must do what's right. Anyway, ways right now I do have the Garmin up just in case I lose any cell service. And when we get down to our destination, I will turn the camera back on and show you about scanning the packages. Then we'll deliver it up to the door. I always set it for left at front door, because if you leave it and then knock on the door and the customer does pick it up, you still have a picture, a record, and the GPS coordinates that you delivered it. So it becomes very hard for someone to claim that you were not there and that you didn't do your job correctly. There is a spot in there if you directly hand it to the customer. Sometimes, especially now it's summertime, more people will be home with their children, and then you just hand it directly to them, and the top part of the app has a selection for hand it to a family member or hand it to the recipient who ordered it. Once you do that, then you'll swipe at the bottom of the app saying finish the delivery, and then it'll give you your next stop. Okay, well, we're almost there. That's our turn off coming on up. It says we have one delivery, and in the lower left thing it says 2 packages and they need to be delivered by 9:30. Well, I'm going to get ready to make the turn, and then I'll be right back. Now when you're getting close to the destination, it's going to have the orange bar at the bottom pop up saying I've parked. So now we've got to look for where the house is, hit I've parked, and then at that point we'll deliver everything. Okay, everyone, as happens at times, the GPS was wrong. We called the customer and they didn't answer, so I contacted customer support, our driver support, and they were able to get me a better map and sent me on down. So I'm now here. I'm going to go ahead and hit the I've parked, and we'll see what happens. The bottom orange is where it says I've parked. I'm going to hit it and see if it's going. Okay, we finished the delivery, and I'm blocking the customer's name, etc. But the bottom it says swipe to finish. So we're just going to swipe. And now when you see this the orange screen here, it's saying you're finished your block, and now you're free to do what you want. You don't have to go back to the station. And so I signed up for a 3.5 hour block. They'll ask you some questions, and I didn't need to go to the bathroom, so no signs. I'm just going to say yeah, hit submit. And now it's going to ask you if you want to check for more blocks, and right now there's no more blocks available. And so now I'm going to head back to the city. I hope this helps. This is GigWarriorJim, and we've just been out flexing with Amazon, or an Amazon Flex delivery. GigWarriorJim back again. One other thing that I'd mentioned earlier was additional things to have that a lot of people don't think of. But old school Garmin or whatever GPS that you like is very important to have. I'm about 80 miles from the city, out in the country, and I'm currently getting no cell reception on how to get home the best way. With the Garmin I have, which has lifetime maps, that I'm able to navigate the most efficient way home, which saves not only time but gas. So always, if you're going to be doing the Amazon Flex, when you can possibly be sent way out of the city where the cell signals are a bit weaker, it is a good thing to have another form of GPS navigation rather than only relying upon cell service to provide your GPS. The satellites are above, and you will get their service whether you have cell service or not. So an old school Garmin, TomTom, or any of the major GPS systems that rely on satellites is a great backup to have. This has been a day with GigWarriorJim. You all just keep flexing on, get your money, and have a great day. And please subscribe.